Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today we're going to take a little tour of the Precision Matthews PM 950V mill. Last week I did an unloading video. I guess you could call it an unboxing because I did unbox it. And so I spent quite a bit of time out here cleaning up all the materials, shipping materials, although I've got a whole bunch of particle board left to get rid of. But I did get rid of that big heavy pallet. That thing must have weighed 200 pounds by itself. It's now the ramp for my little shed out in the backyard. Anyway, this week we'll tour the Precision Matthews, and I'll give you guys all the facts that I didn't give you last week, and I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo down there where you can go and to Precision Matthews and read all about it yourself, just in case I'm incorrect or leave something out. Okay, so let's move up here close and see what we can see. These are the bearings that were in my pallet jack in the little wheels up front, so you can see why it was that I did an overhaul before the mill arrived. These weren't going to roll very good anywhere. Alright, like I said last week, you get a milling machine operation manual, and it has quite a lot of information in there, although it doesn't tell you specifically what kind of oil to use here or there, but it does have lots of information. It also doesn't specifically mention the model number in here. It's got a lot of other model numbers, but not PM 950. So that makes me think maybe the promised manual really hasn't been delivered quite yet. It says model BHM 0949, BHM 942, BHM 1054D, and so on and all that. But it doesn't say anything about this model number. It's got a 949 and 942 and so on, but nevertheless, it's being a Bridgeport clone. I'm sure that all the facts are going to be about the same either way. So what we're going to do is I'll give a little tour of the machine. I tell you what, we'll start up near the top, and there's the Precision Matthews digital readout, which is a handy thing to have. It's got lots of digits. It goes 5 digits on the inches side. On the metric side, it goes 3 digits. When I say digits, past the decimal point. Okay. I'm sure once you get several inches on the other side of the decimal point, no, there's plenty of room for a lot of inches over there. So there's plenty of room. You get a nice LED light, which works wonderfully. And I tightened it up. This is your detachable quill arm. Up here is the speed selector for high and low range. This is the power feed for the quill. Up here we've got the spindle speed. That says do not operate it until the machine's running. It's got variable speed or variable size pulleys, one on the motor and one on the spindle. I can show you a picture of that in case you're not familiar with them. This is pretty much how they look. There's the cutaway there showing the cutaway of the belt and showing the one on the motor. This shows how to remove the motor from the machines, why it's crooked like that. I would say this gives you an idea of the orientation. Alright. And this machine is kind of tall, you know. For me, I have to reach way the heck up there. I may have to make a little platform down here on the ground to walk around on so that I can reach things. Alright, so back to all the controls. Let me see if you can see. This is the forward and reverse switch, and it's not going to work because I don't have the machine plugged in. I haven't run the power over here close to it yet. This is the power cable, and the other end is just hanging out there in the air. Alright? This is your quill lock. This right here holds a little, that holds a guard that goes up in there and latches on, which may or may not be real handy. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. Alright, this is a quill hand feed. If I shove it in, I can get it back in gear. And you can feed the quill sort of very slowly down with this guy. Alright, this guy, this handle here, is the automatic cutoff for the spindle power feed. I'm going to move the camera a little. Get right up here, right into the midst of it. This little ball right here comes down and interferes with the piece right here to knock it loose and take the spindle out of gear. On the other side here is where we set the power feed increments. Bring the camera around here. It feeds in this is 8/10 of eight thousandths per revolution, 1.5 and 3. So that's interesting. Anyway, that's the power feed for the spindle. You can select it. Moving, I guess it's got to be cranked up probably to move properly. I'll move around the machine to another spot. The dials read from 0 around to 200, and it moves very, very slick there. No resistance to speak of. Down there you've got the one-shot lubricator. I mean, I doubt they'll be able to keep this machine in this white, pristine condition, because when you pump that lubricator, a little oil runs down from each one of the, one of the ways that's being lubed. So you get a little bit of seepage there. This guy right here, this is your knee adjustment crank, and I can see why people build little attachments to go on power tools, because you can be totally out of breath time you've cranked that a couple of feet, and it'll crank almost 2 feet. Right here, this is your Y-axis crank. I intended to get the power feed for that, but they were out of stock, so I didn't get one. Now, I haven't yet put the little chip guards on the over the ways there for the bed, but I'll do that after the video probably. It's got a sump down there for coolant, and it says it's set up for a pump if you provide one, and I'm not sure exactly where all that stuff's connected. I do see that there's a hole here for a return line for coolant, but I guess you just have to run the line down there to the knee and flop it down and let the stuff run down there. I probably won't have that big amount of coolant. Now the machine has 2 access holes, one on this side and one on the other side in the back, which I assume is where they expect you to mount a pump for handling the coolant. So I'll go around to the back. And that's the little access hole in the back. It's got, looks like a little bit of a ledge there for you to mount things on. And apparently this is access to the sump. I'll get a light. Okay, there you go. It's definitely access to the sump. So I'm assuming this is where you would mount a motor. I don't know where you would run the hose out from it, but no doubt you'd have to drill a hole. As everyone knows, I have a secret camera hidden in Pierre's garage, so I can see what him and Phil are up to and listen to what they're talking about. And I just heard Pierre say, but he doesn't say anything about the motor or the phase converter. Well, I didn't get a phase converter because I got a single phase motor. It's 220 volts, 3 horsepower. So there, I said something about the motor. Alright, so let me get the list of specifications and we'll look over them and see if there's anything I left out. Alright, so the model PM905V, which I have, has a table size of 9 inch by 50 inches. The X-axis travel is 30 inches with the power feed installed. Full way support at 30 inches of travel. The X-axis travel, the Y-axis travel is 12 inches. The Z-axis travel on the knee is 18 inches. The maximum distance spindle to table is 18 inches. The lead screw type is precision ground Acme lead screw with double nut backlash adjustments on X and Y axis. Lead screw pitch is 0.2 inches, 5 threads per inch. Dial graduations are 1/1000th inch. The spindle taper is R8. The spindle speed range is 80 to 2720 in, I guess that's in low range, and in high range it's 70 to 4200. Okay? Oh, that's what the first number was for the 950S, but the 950V, the RPM is 70 to 4200. Okay? The speed change type is a 950S uses a belt with pulleys. Mine uses just a variable speed split pulleys with a precision tapered roller bearings. I'll get it out of my. The spindle bearing class is C7, and like I said, the main motor horsepower is 3 horsepower, and the overall height with the head up is 83.5 inches. The 950V is actually 87 inches, so it's just a little bit taller than the other one. And the height of the head down for moving, I don't know, it's a smaller amount. Comes on a 5 foot by 5 foot by 6 foot crate. And that's a nice heavy pallet and lots of stuff to move and lots of junk particle board to get rid of. But in time you can do all that work. Alright, I'll try to turn off the camera and just have a little nap while I try to think of anything else that might be relevant. And as I said on the unboxing, you get a machine manual, you get the digital readout manual, and you get a power feed manual. This power feed may be slightly more adjustable than the one on my little Grizzly, but I've only run it back and forth a couple times, so I don't really know 100% for sure. The DRO, that's something that you could make 5 or 6 videos out of. In fact, I did make 5 or 6 videos for another brand of DRO back about 4 years ago, if you dig that far back. I showed a lot of different functions like bolt hole functions and making a radius and drilling on an angle and all kind of different features. So anyway, that's way back there, and I don't have any need or desire to redo those videos. Alright folks, that's your tour. Like I said, the specs, a link to the milling machine, take you to Precision Matthews, and the specifications will be down in the doobly-doo below the video. Time now to go and see if Bubba or Ole or Boudreaux or somebody's got a joke for us. Oh, I've got the way covers on. I installed that while you were sleeping. Well, there you are. Everything's complete except connecting to power.
Sven goes running into the veterinarian office, screaming for help, carrying his limp dog in his arms. The veterinarian was Ole, and Ole says, well, bring him back here and put him on the exam table. So Sven did, and Ole looks him over, and examines the body from one end to the other, and he says, well, Sven, he says, I have to tell you, regrettably, your dog is dead. Sven says, no, it can't be. He says, he can't be dead. You didn't check him good enough. Well, Ole says, I could run some more tests. Sven says, well, run more tests. He says, I can't believe my dog is dead. So Ole comes back in a couple of minutes with a cat, puts his cat down on the exam table. The cat walks around the dog, sniffs it, paws it a couple times. Ole says, well, he says, the cat thinks your dog is dead too. And Sven says, oh, no, he's dead. He can't be dead. I just don't believe that. So Ole says, well, there's one more test I can do. He brings in a Labrador. The Labrador jumps up on the exam table, sniffs Sven's dog, walks around him in a circle and sniffs him and prods him with a paw and shakes his head and walks off. Ole says, well, he says, he thinks your dog is dead too. And Sven says, well, okay, he says, I guess he's dead. He says, so how much do I owe you? Ole says, $650. Sven says, $650 just to tell me my dog is dead? Ole says, well, he said, I would only have charged you $50 just for my opinion. But then he says, you've wanted the CAT scan and the lab tests.
Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.